Good afternoon, everybody, and how the devil are you all out there in YouTube land? Bit breezy here today. Rain, sun, rain, sun. I'm waiting for the hailstones and the snow. I'm going to have one of them days, I think. Right then, what's happening? Oh, I'll bring Mark. At the moment, I've got Mark in. I did send the link out to Dale and to Jamie as well, but no doubt Dale will be working. I'm not sure what Jamie's up to. Anyway, but Mark's here to keep me up to date with what's going on in the chat. So I'll just put Mark back in the background. The link at the top of the chat today is to Mark's live tonight, which starts at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Well, I believe he's going to be doing some colouring on a nice, I think it's a beach ball he's going to be doing tonight. What else has been happening? Oh, I had visitors at the weekend. Dale and Jamie popped in to see me on Saturday. Dale was up here looking at properties, and Jamie came along for the ride. So they both popped in on Saturday. So we had a bit of a chat and had pizzas out of the pizza oven. And Jamie had a bit of a play on the lathe, and he's left stickers, although I haven't found any stickers yet. But I am now an official member of Team Strollsaw. It's written on the wall just above my head there. So they managed to find the Sharpie and start writing things all over the place as well. And Jamie bought a couple of presents, one of which is the piece I'm going to be turning today, which is a piece of Laburnum. So I'll be doing one of the vase shapes again. It has got a big inclusion in one side, so there'll be one side hollowed out of this. And he brought Drilly's cousin, Brushy. And it's a very special brushy because if you can read that, it's for rectal use only. So there we go. Right. Now, I've had an update on Windows this morning, did the update, went in to start setting up to do the live and everything, and OBS started messing about and closed the computer down at least 3 times. So we're not going with OBS today, so camera changes will be a bit different. I'm going to have to come back into StreamYard to do the camera changes, but I've only probably got two or three camera changes to do. So that's the piece we've got today, so I'm going to get on and do some turning, and Mark can let me know what's happening in the chat.
Yeah. Right, so far we've got... Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. We've got Brent Beecroft, Charlie Taylor, Clive Rogerson, David Miller, Doc Miller at Woodspun Round, Douglas Mongham, Duncan the Curly Turner, Eric Winkler, Fred Gilliver, Gerard the French Turner, Ian in the Shed, Ian Leonard, Joe Senior, Eric Winkler, Lawrence Brigager, Pete from Twisted Trees, Rex B, Robert Robertson, Robert Dolman, Malcolm Douglas, Mark from Shop Dog Workshop, Steve Ellis, Terry Bartlett, David Eisenhower from Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations, and Wood Wizardry by Colin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks very much for popping along.
Sorry if I missed anybody. David Vaughan, Paul Houghton, Jay's Cabin. We did have a new name that we thought was a new name. I know I just didn't read out just now. Patrick Hanley, that was it. Oh, and Tom Canada. Hi, Tom. Patrick, welcome along.
Good afternoon, everyone. Old and new.
Chris from Bailey Woodworks is in.
Hi, Chris.
Ruby Clare's in. Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
Clive's asking, how seasoned is this log?
It's feeling quite dry. The ends were waxed and there was no cracks in there. So I suppose we will find out once it's finished.
Barry Chitty and John S. Casting have joined.
Hi, Barry, John. I'll just stick a smaller groove into that to fit into my chuck jaws. And then I'll get this turned around. And everybody have a good weekend. I certainly had a very good weekend this weekend.
Rexby's asking, in the explanation for Laburnum, it says golden. Will it turn that colour on the finish or with age?
Right, this is, you can't actually see very well at the moment. All this that you've got here, this light coloured wood, this is the sapwood. In fact, it'll be easy to show you on one of the cut-off pieces. Just bear with me a minute.
Yep. Woodworm Paul and Steve Hale have joined.
Good afternoon. Thanks very much for your comment the other night or last night or whenever it was, Paul. Much appreciated. So there you go. So this is the Laburnum. Obviously, you've got the bark here. And then all of this white bit, this is the sapwood. And then all of the dark bit, that's the heartwood. So that goes from sort of a nice pale green to a very, very dark brown. And you'll be able to see the proper effect of it once I get some finish on there. What I'm going to try and do is take off quite a lot of the sapwood because the heartwood is really where the beauty of Laburnum is. So the diameter of this is going to come down a fair way, which I'm not overly concerned about because I want to have the heartwood shown rather than the sapwood. Let's get this tightened up.
Brent Beecroft's joined.
Hi, Brent.
Clive Rogerson says he's not had a bad weekend. Scored a load of London plain logs.
Oh,
Pressed
nice.
12 bowl blanks, several spindle blanks so far. 2 logs to go. Nice.
Excellent.
London plain, is that also called lacewood?
Yeah.
Ruby's asking, is Laburnum native to the UK?
I believe it is, Ruby. I think it's certainly native to Europe anyway.
Benjamin's in.
It's another one of these woods that are quite poisonous.
Lawrence Bugasia's in.
Hi, Lawrence. Right, a couple of more passes on this, and then I'll do a bit of shaping on it. There we are. We're getting a lot more of the heartwood coming through here now. Still a bit of the sap. Some of that might get left in. Certainly in this area where there's going to be a bit of the bark left in some of the sapwood as well. I'll start with start shaping now. I'll start off with me bull gouge, 3/8 bull gouge, just to start doing some shaping.
Clive says He's read that it's known as lacewood when quarter-sawn and a pattern comes through.
Yeah. It's a very distinctive pattern. Change that and I'll use my spindle gouge, I think.
Eric's asking, should you wear a dust mask when sanding if it is poisonous?
Yes, you should. You should really wear a dust mask. It doesn't matter what wood you're sanding.
Yeah. Colin Izzard's asking, has anyone tried the Parkside cordless rotary tool from Lidl? I looked at it this morning, $16.99. Interested if it has been tried.
Right. It hasn't been tried yet, but I bought it for Jane for working with her jewellery. So she has got it, but she hasn't tried it yet.
To be honest, quite a few of their tools are actually quite good for the price, aren't they?
I have absolutely no problem with tools from either Lidl's or Aldi. Absolutely none. One of the best tools I've got actually is my electric chainsaw sharpener, which I bought from Lidl.
Yeah.
Got the wrong jig on that. Take that one off.
Ben says, good picture today, Wayne. Jane must be off the internet.
No, to tell you the truth, it's probably a good picture today because I'm not going through OBS as well.
Eric says that he was sanding a mulberry tree, only sanded for 60 seconds without a mask, and he was choking.
Yeah, it can happen. The worst effect I've had was with a piece of, in fact, I did it live, and I didn't know what the wood was. It was something I'd had for a long time, wasn't labelled, and I started sneezing during the live, and I didn't stop sneezing for around about 6 hours.
Oh, blimey. Terry Bartlett's in. Hi, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Ivy Woodshed's in.
Good afternoon.
I can't remember, is it Andrew or Adrian?
Andrew.
Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
I think.
Robert Lapsley's just joined.
Hey, Bob.
And Copperell Woodturning's just joined.
Hey, Rob.
73 watching.
Excellent. So there's a couple of links in the description today. First one's to buy me a coffee if anybody wants to support the channel. It'd be much appreciated. I think I've got the Makers International podcast linked in there. I've got Mark's channel linked in the description as well as at the top of the chat. I've got the virtual crafty linked in there, which is going to be happening on the 29th of May. And the last one I think I've got in there is for Conkers Live on Wednesday night. Just to remind everybody, I'm not doing a live on Wednesday night. Conkers Live is on with a lass called Kirsty Dalton, who is she's from Scotland. I believe she's from up around the Perth area, I think. But she does some fantastic work, and she's going to be on Conkers Live on Wednesday night, and that is on the Chestnut Products YouTube channel. But the link is in the description.
Sid's repurposing this in. Hi, Sid. Neil Gould's just joined. Hi, Neil. How you doing, mate?
Hi, Neil. Just get this shape blended in a bit here, just a little bit more.
Pete from Twisted Tree says, how come Wayne's buy me a coffee needs a licensed premises permit? Adam from I Love Wood Turnings in. Hi, Adam. Nice little live you were doing this morning, mate. Was enjoying that. Glenn's in from the Yorkshire Pit.
Good afternoon, Glenn.
How you doing, buddy? '81 watching.
Excellent. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, that's looking nice. I'm liking that. So we've just got a little bit of the sapwood left on there. There's some of the sapwood left around this bark area. It's pretty well dry, this is. I think it was Rex was asking earlier on. It's pretty well dry. Some of this bark will come away once I start hollowing out. I'm going to do that now. I'll not do any finishing on the outside yet, just in case I need to do some refinement on the shape once I've finished hollowing out.
Andy H has just joined.
Hi, Andy.
Ruby's asking, will you put a collar on the neck?
No, I don't think I will, Ruby. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, to tell you that... Oh, shot me bloody finger in that hole there. I'm just going to leave it as it is.
Don't do that.
No, it tends to be sore doing things like that. And just have a check how far down I'm going to go. Right, just to the end of that paper there.
Not sure if I said before, but Barry Chitty's in.
Hi, Barry. Right, I'm going to turn the speed down. I'm running at just over on 1,000 at the moment. I'm going to turn the speed down now to around about 500 or just under 500 for drilling.
God, I almost missed Jennifer Stoughton. Jennifer's in.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing?
Greg Alexander's just joined. 83
Hey,
watching. For anyone that just joined late, this is a piece of Laburnum given to Wayne by Jamie Page. Robert from Hodgepodge Woodworks is in.
Hi, Robert. Harry.
There's he's got his sidekick Harry with him. Hodgepodge, I really liked that three-sided hollow form you did the other day. That was nice.
I think I was
Enjoyed
drilling there and I didn't have the tailstock locked down properly. I was just shoving the tailstock back. That doesn't help.
Robbo's got a question. He says, Wayne, did you teach Jamie how to use real tools? Lol.
I did, Robbo. I did put a photo up. I think I might only just put that in one of the group chats, but yes, and I did take a photograph of him using real tools as well. Sorry about that.
Douglas Muggham says, Wayne, did you check that blank? Because it might be booby-trapped. Lol.
No, but I've been checking everywhere else in the workshop this morning. Right, I don't know if you can see, but there's bits of shaving starting to jump out of the side.
Yep.
And that's probably why the drill is getting knocked off a wee bit, but we're nearly there.
Clive Rogerson says, you'll get to the bottom of the hollowing, find a Carbide Rocks hashtag label poking out to the hole.
That wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Charlie Taylor doesn't know you very well. He says, question, are you going to fill with resin?
Yeah. I'm afraid that is never. Sorry, I'm not saying never. You should never say never, but that is not going to happen.
And Glenn's asking, has your Pro Edge still got a belt on it?
No, that's a very good point, Glenn. That is a very good point. Yes, it has. And I tell you the truth, he didn't even bring the diamond one up. I'm sure it was my turn. Right, so that's hollowed out now nicely, and you can actually see. Can you see? You just can't quite see my finger there.
No, just see the tip of your finger.
So I'll just get the top of this cleaned off a wee bit. Turn the speed back up.
Neil, I'd suggest you're clicking the wrong link, mate. Do you want to just change to the side cam?
I'm just about to do that, if I can remember which one it is. I think it's that one.
Yep. Douglas Mungham's asking, did you do an inventory before and after?
Funnily enough, Douglas, I didn't. Yes, I know, I should have done.
What tool is that you're using now, Wayne?
Right, this is the woodcut. It's the small woodcut hollower. So this has got a high-speed steel blade in here, and it's got a cover over the top so you can actually adjust the depth of cut. Very, very good for end grain hollowing, as is this one. This is the, oh, wrong camera, that camera. This is the Rolly Monroe hollower. This has got, no, I can't remember if this is a high-speed steel cutter in here or a carbide one, to tell you. Now, in fact, no, it is high-speed steel, because when I bought this, I got a sharpener with it for sharpening on a grinder. So that's the Rolly Monroe one. We might have a play with that one. And this one, I can't remember who made this one, to tell you the truth, but it's a very, very similar type of setup. So you've got a high-speed steel cutter, which goes round, and you've got a cover so you can actually adjust the depth of cut on this. I have got a few others, but we'll have a play with these and see how we get on. Just for something different.
Barry from Wood Creations is in.
Hey, Barry.
Joe said she's back. Didn't know you left, Joe.
The only thing with some of these tools, they all tend to advertise them as being non-clogging. Don't believe it.
Robbo says he thinks that one is a Rolly Monroe as well, one of his early ones.
Yeah. I can't remember when I bought mine, to tell you the truth. It was, when did I buy that? That must have been 2000 and... around about 2003, I got that from, bought it at Harrogate, at the Harrogate show. In fact, it was Jimmy Clues at that time who was actually selling them before he moved across to the States.
Jixie Shed's in. Hi, Jixie.
Hi, Jixie. You can actually feel, or I can, that's started clogging up again. It can be a bit of a nightmare for that type of thing, although, like I say, they all advertise them as being non-clog.
The Wood Dude's in. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. How's it going? I've got to say, Stephen, I am really enjoying the crackle work that you're doing at the moment.
Yes, they've been awesome, haven't they?
Let's have a look and see how we're doing on this anyway. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see how the Rolly Monroe one works. Haven't used this for quite a long time.
Robert Dolman says, I got my EXO set from Jimmy in 2000.
All right. Now I'm getting a lot. Well, it's not really biting on this, but I'm hitting a lot of air with this, which is why it might seem like it's not cutting that well, but it is.
Robbo says he agrees, Wayne. He hasn't met one yet that doesn't clog up.
Yeah. It's bloody annoying. So if you are going to be using any of these tools, or you're thinking about getting any of these tools, get a small screwdriver or a brad awl as well.
Brian from Hartwood Turnings in. He says, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I'm late. He has
Hey,
cake.
Brian.
Lol. That's all right. As long as you brought enough for everybody, Brian. Question from Douglas Mungham. He says, would a #1 hollower be any good for what you were doing?
Oh, definitely, yes. Especially if you buy the professional one rather than the
mid-size.
Rather than the mid-size one. Yeah, the professional one is bigger. It uses a wider bar, or sorry, a thicker bar. I can't remember if the cut is the same, but overall, it's a bigger tool.
I think the cutter is the same. It's just a thicker bar. Steve Fleming's joined. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve. That bloody clogged up straight away. Nightmare. This is why a lot of people start going for carbides and scrapers when they're hollowing out, because these tools, although they get rid of the wood very, very fast, they're just a nightmare for clogging up.
Mo Valley's just joined. Would the Pro Hollower from Simon Hope be a good tool for this?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm just having a look at any of the other tools. I had a variety of tools actually made up for hollowing. This is one of the beasts I had made up. So it's a piece of inch square steel. In the end, I had a hole drilled in to take a piece of high-speed steel, and in the side, I had a hole drilled at a 45-degree angle, so I can actually put the cutter in there as well. That's a smaller version, but this is out of round bar. But again, it can go in, the cutter can go either go in at the end or at 45 degrees.
Two questions, one from Douglas Mungham. Are ring tools any good?
Yes, ring tools are great. This is my ring tool. It's been battered and bruised for a long time. I'm not going to use it on this because it's a wee bit enclosed for what I like to use it with. But for end grain cutting, ring tools are really very good. I did do a live with the ring tool, I think last year sometime. I
Yeah.
think.
And Doc Miller's asking, can the hood be taken off of those tools?
Yes, but why would you? It all that's going to do is make it a very, very aggressive cut. How are we doing on time, Mark?
36 minutes.
Right.
Gerard the French Turn's
That's
asking.
that piece of bark off.
Yeah, that's gone. Gerard's asking, what about the Wiedemann hook tool?
Yeah, that works the same way. A hook tool works the same way as a ring tool. I don't know if it's any better or any worse, to tell you the truth.
Be a bit tight in there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the only time I see ring tools and hook tools used is sort of more gobbly type shapes on end grain rather than being enclosed. Wait, what am I looking for now?
I saw somebody using a ring tool this weekend on a end grain bowl.
Yes. They work ideal on that type of thing because that's what they're built for.
Yeah,
Ring tools, ring tools and hook tools, they're built for end grain.
I think that was Chad Eames. Did an end grain bowl.
And now you can move on to the likes of your carbides. I'll just pop this up a bit. This is a Simon Hope carbide.
'89 watching.
Excellent.
Don't forget, folks, if you like what Wayne's doing, chuck him a thumbs up. And if you really like what he's doing and like to support him, you can pop into the description. You can find the link for his Buy Me a Coffee. There's also a couple of links in there for Makers International and for the Virtually Crafty at the end of the month. And the link at the top of the chat is for my live tonight. Thank you very much, Wayne. Popping that on there.
No probs.
Have a bit of play around with some colour tonight. John Scarborough's in. Hi, John.
Hey, John. All right, I'm getting the wall thickness down just nicely here now. You can see. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can. You can see the difference in the wall thickness there. So I'm getting the wall thickness down just nicely.
John McDonald's in as well. Hi, John. So you wait all day and then two Johns come along together.
Yeah, I know. A bit like buses.
I'll tell you a secret. Bus drivers, we do that on purpose.
See, now this is the Simon Hope hollow. This has got a 6mm cutter on. Now this was specially developed for the hollowing jig. So I think this is I think it's about a 19
mil bar,
yeah, on this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's a 19mm bar on this one, so it fits into the hollowing jig. But Simon does do a handle for it. Now the thing is with this, when you're using this tool by hand, you've got to be extremely careful because it is a beast. Although it's only got a 6mm cutter on there, it cuts very aggressively. Now on the handle, gets fastened in with some Allen keys, and what I've done, I've set the line of the Allen keys up with the top of the cutter, so I can see when I'm straight on, and I can see when I've actually got it at an angle.
Old Faithful has joined. Hi, Old Faithful. He says, can't usually watch during the week, so this is a treat. Lovely looking piece of wood.
Thank you. Now I've got this over at around about 30 degrees at the moment, so it's not quite as aggressive. And the good thing with having a hole in the side of the piece is that I can actually, from where I'm looking now, I can actually see the tool head, so I can gauge the wall thickness. My TV monitor's in the way. Just let me shorten this down a bit.
I've actually lost count. I think you're on your 5th or your 6th hollowing tool now.
Yeah, probably. I'm having a mess about just showing different tools. I didn't mean to, but
that's good. It's like Pete says, what's the point of having all these tools if you don't use them in rotation?
Well, exactly. Right, so I've shortened the length so I can actually get in without hitting the TV monitor.
Robbo says you're just strutting. Lol. John, no, that's just the angle of the camera. Wayne will be holding the tool parallel to the bed bars.
Now the thing with this tool, it does produce quite a lot of ridge lines. I'm getting a lot of ridge lines in there at the moment. But that's not really a huge concern because I can clean them up using a different tool. I'm just looking for it and I can't see it. Anyway, I'll find it. I'm going to go down and start cleaning a bit of the bottom out here.
James Pritchard's asked, has anybody tried the Jimmy Clues hollowing tools, the Mate 1 and the Mate 2? Probably Thompson manufactured.
I've tried them. I tried them down at Glynn's. Glynn's got a couple of them.
Stephen the Wooddude's got a question.
Yeah.
He says, which hollower is your go-to hollower as he needs to upgrade? Which is the one you pick up first?
Right. The one that I pick up first, I'm actually not using today. I'm using different ones today. I thought I'd do something different. But this is usually the one that I go for, which is the Robert Sorby Hollow Master. So it comes with 3 different tips. The tips you can tape, 3 different heads. So you can have a cutter attached to each head, and you can just interchange the cutters for speed of purpose. Plus, you've got various angles on here. I think these are 45-degree angles. So you can actually set the cutter at a shear cut as well as a straight on cut. It comes with a handle with an extension. Yeah, it's there. It's got a bull gouge in at the moment. It comes with a parting tool. It comes with a diamond sharpener. The cutters I've got are high-speed steel. You can get titanium coated, and you can also, in some of the cutters, you can get carbide as well. It's a great tool. I love it. And that was actually a gift to me from David McClernand over in Northern Ireland.
A couple of people in the chat are suggesting that maybe the tool you're looking for has been hidden by JP.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. What am I looking for now? That's what I'm
Jamie, where have you put it?
Yeah. Now, with the Simon Hope hollowing jig, you get the straight cutter or the straight bar, but you also get a swan neck as well. And the swan neck tends to come with this quite large high-speed steel disc on. And this is actually brilliant for clearing off those the ridges that the carbide tip uses, or leaves, I should say. Now, what you can do, I'll not do it today, but you can actually take that whole cutter bit off the end there and just put the round disc on. What I'll do just for today, I'll just stick the swan neck into here. I don't usually use a swan neck unless I'm doing a real sort of hollow with a very tight shoulder. But I'll just see if this fits in okay. Yeah, that fits in fine. I'll move the tool rest back, because whenever you're using a swan neck, excuse me a minute, whenever you're using a swan neck, you always want to have the straight part of the bar sitting on the tool rest. Because if you have the swan neck part of the bar sitting on the tool rest, as soon as it starts cutting, it's going to want to twist round. If you look at the cutter and the swan neck, you go along the shaft straight along and you'll hit the cutter. So the cutter is in line with the straight shaft, which means you've got less chance of getting any twisting. He said just before everything grabs. See? What did I tell you? And all I'm trying to do with this is just take off any of the high spots that have been left by the carbide cutter. And that's done that quite nicely. So I'm just going to refine the outside now. I'll put my smaller tool rest in. I've left a fair bit of thickness on the bottom of this, or a fair bit of depth, I should say, on the bottom of this, just so I can sort of bring this in more. Let's change camera again, go back to the overhead. That one, yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just bring this in. I've got a fairly decent wall thickness there, but I'm just going to bring it in thinner at the bottom. Just get my spindle gouge set up again. And then we'll start doing some finishing. How are we doing on time, Mark?
51 minutes.
Grand.
You're fine.
Right, so around about here. Have a quick look and see how I'm doing. Yeah.
Sorry, you might have said this, but would you go for an oil finish on this?
You could go for an oil finish on this, but the thing is Laburnum is such a beautiful wood and finishes really, really well. I'm probably going to go wax on this, to tell you the truth.
That hole's a lot bigger than it looked like it would be at the start, isn't it?
It is. See how that's looking? Yeah, let's still play with a wee bit more on that.
Robert says, then lacquer it after 3 days. Lol.
Then, like, yeah.
Barry's in. Real simple things.
Hiya, Barry.
Hiya, Barry.
That's grand. That's looking not too bad. Just need to do a bit of hand sanding just around, what's that, 120? Just around here, just to get rid of all these fuzzies and everything. A bit of bark left on there. I'll probably just leave that though. Right, question for the audience. Do I put a foot on this, or do I just leave it as this shape and part it off here? Because I have got some wood here to put a foot on, so let's see what the audience think while I'm giving this a sand. I'm going to do a quick sand with drilly, especially over the area where the hole is. Oh, Mark's gone. Wonder what happened there. Sorry, guys. Have I gone as well? Oh, he's back.
Yeah, in the dark.
Oh, you had a power cut.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sorry about
Right.
that.
Somebody's asking if I've ever used Sandeflex. Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, is that the one that Phil Anderson uses on the end of a drill?
It's
Like the wheel. The wheel with the strips of sandpaper coming out around
all
the
right,
side.
okay. Right. So somebody said about parting it off where it is and using the rest of the bottom as a lid. I probably won't do that. If I'm going to put a lid on this, and I think I may well make a lid to go on this, it's going to be quite a tall. Hang on, wait.
Chuck me in the background, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be. It'll be a tall finial that I put onto this. If and when I do put a lid on, it'll probably be in a contrasting wood as well, so it'll be something light. There we go, and I'll just finish that off with some 240. Bring up the YouTube chat.
Yeah, sorry, I can't see the YouTube chat because.
Right. I don't know how much of a response I got on the no foot.
Foot.
Yeah, no foot is one.
Yeah.
Grand. Grand. Okay. Right, so what I'll do now is get some sand and sealer. So I'm just going to use, I've got not a bad finish on the inside there, even though it is directly off the tool. I'm not going to try and sand it. I'm going to spray in some cellulose sand and sealer in here. This is another good thing about having a hole in the side. Spray the outside with sand and sealer. Yeah, then that happens.
Yeah. Blimey.
Take some tissue off my new tissue hanger.
You've remembered where it is now.
Yeah. Mark and I use, in fact, Mark put me onto this. Mark first started using one of these clothes hanger type things that go into shops. Started using one of them as a camera mount for his cameras. And he said, oh, got some wormy stuff going on there. I'm not going to bother taking the sawdust out of them. So he put me onto this, and it's from one of these not very expensive shops in the UK called B&M. So I think they're about 15 quid on the mark, something like that.
Yeah, 12, 13 quid.
So they're absolutely brilliant for putting your cameras on, but Mark found another use for them by hanging his kitchen roll off it as well.
Yeah, you can extend one of the arms out from the side and it's perfect for a kitchen roll.
Right, just get my Yorkshire grit. So I'm using Yorkshire grit on. Oh, that's bleached out a bit. There we are. Yorkshire grit I'm going to use on this. So I've put the sand and sealer on. Now I'll put the Yorkshire grit on. Again, if you are going to be using Yorkshire grit or any sort of wax on this type of thing, be very, very careful when you're rubbing it in, because you have got that flaming great hole in the side and you don't want to get your fingers jammed.
No.
So I've applied the Yorkshire grit, and now I'm going to turn the speed down to about 250. If your lathe can go down to 250, try and do this at 250. If you've got one of these lathes that's got a Reeves drive on, or like Brian the other day, he had his lathe set up on the middle belt, so his lowest speed was 500. Then use the 500 if that is the lowest speed your lathe will go to. Ideally, you want to be around about 250. Rub the Yorkshire grit in for at least a couple of minutes, using the piece of paper that you used to apply it with, and that starts getting the abrasive working. So Yorkshire grit is made up of mineral oil. I think Glyn does put a bit of lemon oil in, but mineral oil, beeswax, and rotten stone. And it's the rotten stone that's the abrasive. You only need to sand to 240, because once you finish using the grit, once it's done its job, you'll have the equivalent grit finish of 1,000 on the piece you're working on. So once you've rubbed that in for a couple of minutes, you can turn the speed up, get a clean piece of paper, and start working it in. I'm running it around about 700 now. So you're still rubbing it in. And what you want to do is carry on doing this, going over the piece, checking the paper to see, obviously this paper is getting torn because of the void in there. Usually it doesn't get torn. But what you're wanting is for the paper to come away clean. And once the paper comes away clean, that's shown that the grit has actually done its work, and all the abrasive has been worn down enough so you can't notice it, and the oil in the wax has just started to go into the work. Right, now I've got wee bits and bobs of paper in the void there. That's to be expected. They can just be picked out though. And then we can put a finish on. And the finish I'm going to use today is... Have I got any of this left? This is a flaming old tin, this is. I've got some left.
So I'm just switching back and forwards between the comments. Neil, yes, I'll send you a picture in a minute, mate. If I get my power back on.
Right, I'm using some Hampshire Sheen high gloss wax, one of the original tins. That I've still got a little bit left of. There we go. Give that a quick buff up. Hope your electricity's back on for the night, pal.
Yeah, so do I. I've just been and checked all my fuse boards. They're all fine. Problem I have here is my power comes through the house behind my neighbour's house because this is
Oh,
an
right.
annex.
Yeah.
If something goes in their house, it blows me as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they're at work at the moment. So if they've had something trip, there might be a power out. I don't know. I'll check on the internet in a minute.
Right, then I'll get this parted off. Let's move them tools out the way. Get this parted off, and then I'll come back and onto main cam and show you what the piece is like.
People are asking if I paid my electricity bill. Yes.
Cheek. The cheek.
Cheek of it. I had 15 quid in credit on there yesterday. I haven't used 15 quid in a night. If anyone's wondering how I've managed to log back in, I've logged back in on my mobile phone.
There we are. Just clean the bottom of that with small skew chisel. Have a sit down.
But we used Hampshire Sheen high gloss.
Yes, I did. It was. Let's see. I'll get the tin so I can show you, because it's a very, very old can. This is. Which camera? That one, I think. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I used. Hampshire Sheen high gloss. A very, very old tin. I've still got a little bit left. Let's see. Looking for a tape measure, so we'll see what size this is. 5 by 3.5. Got a bit of paper on there. So there it is, guys. A nice piece of laburnum.
That's beautiful.
About 5 inches tall by 3.5 diameter. Just again, a nice basic shape. I like doing very basic shapes. A nice basic shape, but with the interest of having the void in the side. So I'll take a photograph this afternoon, and I will get that up on social media for everybody to see.
What's beautiful about it, Wayne, is you let the wood do the talking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about keeping, especially when you got something as with the grain as beautiful as that. You don't need any fancy shapes or anything in there. Just nice basic shape. I like doing basic shapes because they're easy to do.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just bring Mark back in to get finished off. There we go. Mark sitting in the dark on his mobile phone. Gone a little bit over today, but not to worry. Oh my life, that's scary.
Good evening, everybody.
Take all the dust off my glasses so I can see. That's better. Right then, what's been seen? Cheers, Brian. Thanks a lot for the comment. Thanks, Andy. Jigsy. There's a few people I missed there. Steve.
Oh. Yay. Power's back.
Power's back on. Just in time. Right then, guys, I've gone a little bit over the day. I usually try and keep it to an hour just to keep people's interest up. Gone a little bit over, but I enjoyed the day showing the different types of hollowing tools that I've got. The pros and cons about them. The pros and cons, certainly with the bladed ones, the pros are they hollow out end grain really well. The cons are, even though they're advertised as not getting clogged up, they do. And it really is a bit of a nightmare having to keep on taking them back out and cleaning them out with a flaming screwdriver every couple of minutes. Other than that, I mean, they do work. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Like I say, I'll get photographs up a bit later on this afternoon, and I am going to now say goodbye and hit the button. So I'm going to hit the button. Remember, Mark's on tonight. Come in and see Mark. He's going to be doing some colouring. I'll not be extracting the urine at all because I don't do things like that.
No, of course not. No.
So see you all later, guys.